tidak berapa lagi in terms of the in terms of the green job ni. However, in the developed country and so on, they are already aware on the importance of the green practices. So banyak sudah pekerjaan-pekerjaan yang related to the green job ni. Green job ni sebenarnya adalah job yang related to what you call that, to the apa-apa yang untuk preserve the environment lah, ataupun untuk conserve the environment. Regardless of the sector. So contohnya macam kalau contohnya kita involve dalam manufacturing, and then kita kita punya business tu kita mau produce satu barang yang boleh menjimatkan tenaga supaya tidak consume banyak tenaga at the end of the day. So itu pun boleh dikira sebagai green job. Okay, so green job adalah apa-apa work ataupun apa-apa practices that are being done in order for us to conserve ataupun preserve the environment. So dia boleh involve dalam various sector lah, daripada daripada what we call that, daripada F&B, daripada manufacturing, daripada research and development and so on. Okay, so anything ataupun any job that is related to the preserving and conserving the environment, it can be considered as a green job. Okay, and then next one is related to the prevention of practices which misuse of the resources. So basically, kalau in terms of the production ataupun in terms of we want to operate ataupun run our business, okay, kalau kita aware on the importance ataupun our impact towards the environment, okay, so we will try to reduce our consumption ataupun we will try to reduce our our production lah. Kita akan cuba mengurangkan kadar untuk kita menggunakan resources ni supaya kita boleh preserve the environment, because later on nanti kita akan look in terms of the ecological footprint kan, so all of that activity akan impact the environment. So that is why we are trying to preserve the environment by using less resources. Okay, so bila kita using less resources, then that is actually the one that it leads to the prevention of practices which misuse of resources. So kita sudah tahu, kita sudah understand bahawa we really need to utilize the resources to effectively so that it can lead to the reduction in terms of the consumption of the resources, which will directly impact the resources punya production and consumption lah. Okay, and at the end of the day is regulation of over-exploitation and harmful externalities. So this is actually more related to the government punya government punya regulation ataupun government punya rules lah. Okay, so basically government is actually the one who have the right to impose the regulation. So government needs to be strict when it comes to the over-exploitation. Okay, so contohnya macam pembalakan haram. Okay, so contohnya macam if ada organisation ataupun ada companies yang release dorang punya toxic dump tu di sungai-sungai. Okay, so they have to take action towards this, and then they have to punish this particular wrongdoers lah. Okay, so contohnya macam ada juga yang factory-factory kilang-kilang yang release a lot of carbon dioxide because if you want to know, factory ni kan dia punya tahap ataupun dia punya level yang dibenarkan untuk dorang release carbon dioxide. So dorang kena dorang kena monitor this level lah. So if let's say this level is exceeding, then they need to take action towards this particular factory because it is actually over exploit the required percentage already. Okay, so that is actually the things that we need to do in order for us to achieve the economic growth in sustainable development. Okay, next we go to, okay, so this one, in order to have both economic development and sustainability, fair trade, debt eradication mechanism to ensure that everyone gets his or her due reward and resources must be in place. Okay, so you have to consider all of that particular elements in order for us to have the economic growth. Okay, and then last but not least is using GDP is not suitable as measure sustainable development since it does not reflect social inequality and over-exploitation of resources. Okay, so what does it mean by this point is actually Okay, so gross domestic product is actually showing only the percentage ataupun the income of our country. Okay, so for example, if your organisation performing well, contohnya industry of manufacturing performing well in a certain period of time, it will be shown through the GDP lah. So contohnya macam agriculture, ada peningkatan in terms of kita punya import export. So dia akan reflect di GDP. However, GDP dia tidak show the social inequality. So whether you are treating the employees right ataupun you are using the child labor, it does not reflect through the GDP. So that is why we need to actually look from the micro punya perspektif lah. Kita tidak boleh hanya look from the makro sahaja. Makro tu kan yang besar. So kita tidak boleh tengok based on the GDP itself. We have to zoom in and then look in terms of the practice, whether that particular organisation are really employing a good practice ataupun tidak. So contohnya ada possibility untuk some organisation tu diorang guna child labor. So contohnya child labor kan diorang hanya perlu bayar sikit saja and so on kan. So disebabkan diorang punya penggunaan resources tu kurang, diorang boleh dapat more profits. Daripada profit tu yang akan reflect kepada GDP. However, in terms of the practice itself, it doesn't reflect the social inclusivity itself lah. So we have to make sure we are not only performing in terms of the GDP, but also in terms of the each elements of the SDG itulah, the three pillars tadi, the economic, the people, and also the environment. Okay, next is related to the environmental protection. Okay, so previously kita sudah tengok in terms of economy, okay, how we want to achieve the growth in terms of the economy. Now we see in terms of the environment. Okay, so in terms of our ecology, in terms of our ecosystem and so on. Okay, so the first one is protection of ecosystem and biosphere. Okay, so this one is related to kita punya ni lah, kita punya ecosystem ataupun kita punya flora and fauna. Okay, so increase quality of water, land and air. Okay, so basically this one is really important. Okay, so as you know that nowadays kita punya environment sudah sangat-sangat parah. Okay, so land kita pun, if you are aware, di Pahang tu sudah macam makin makin pokok-pokok dia pun macam makin kurang, and then air pollution pun tidak berapa terjaga, and then in terms of water itself, water ni apatah lagi kan, if you go to the beach and so on, you can see a lot of plastic bottle and so on kan, so that is actually will give impact towards the life below the land tu. So that is actually the things that we have to be aware of lah. Okay, and then in terms of the better management of waste and also pollution. Okay, so in terms of the waste also we need to have a better management. Okay, one of the example that I can give is actually related to kita punya electric appliances. Okay, so contohnya macam electrical appliances, laptop, ataupun mungkin ada television, ataupun mungkin handphone kan. I know most of you are already orang-orang berada di sini kan. So mungkin ada handphone kamu tu yang masih boleh diguna tapi kamu tidak guna. So that is actually if you didn't manage it well, then it will become e-waste. Dia dipanggil sebagai e-waste sebab dia electrical waste. Okay, so in which this particular electrical waste you cannot dump everywhere. So contohnya macam kalau kamu ada bateri kah ataupun kamu ada telefon yang tidak diguna, kamu tidak boleh buang sembarang. Because of why? Because at the end of the day, contohlah kalau kamu buang kamu punya handphone tu di tong sampah ataupun di mana-mana lah tempat pembuangan sampah kan. At the end of the day, bila dia sudah expose dengan humidity, bila dia sudah expose dengan air, dia akan release satu elemen ataupun satu toxic lah. So toxic punya toxic punya elemen kan, then dia akan give impact towards the sand ataupun towards the tanah tu, and also towards the air lah. So benda tu kita tidak boleh buang sembarang, kita tidak boleh bakar, kita tidak boleh buang, because definitely it will give impact towards the ecosystem ataupun towards our environment. So you need to have a better management. Okay, so kalau di KK ni kita ada di BKK lah. Di BKK ni dia akan menguruskan electrical waste ni, in which we can give them this electrical waste for them to manage properly. So tidaklah dibuang sembarang. So that is actually the things that we have to understand lah. Okay, and then in terms of the respect and protection for all species, flora, fauna, and also marine species, and measure to ensure resource sustainability and also harmony. Okay, so that is actually all related to the environmental protection. Okay, so the environment is a crucial pillar due to dire or terrible condition of the earth as a result of human activities. Okay, so in which that is actually all because of us. Okay, so that is why sekarang ni it can be said that banyak sudah bencana because of ourselves lah. Kita tidak boleh blame anyone apart from ourselves. Okay, so please if you already learn this particular subject, we are already aware on the impact, then we need to do our own role lah. So contohnya kalau benda yang boleh kita reduce, contohnya macam kamu punya laptop, kamu punya telefon kan masih bagus, janganlah beli yang baru. Kalau kamu mau beli yang baru, then you need to donate your unused telephone to the person in need. Bagi kepada sesiapa lagi yang memerlukan, so that we can reduce the waste too. Okay, and then climate change, global warming, deforestation, loss of biodiversity, and desertification are among the important environmental issues that need high attention. Okay, I'm not sure if you are looking in terms of the movie related to the Silent Sea. Silent Sea ni dia macam di Netflix tu ada Gong Yoo tu kan berlakon, yang mana dalam Silent Sea tu dia menceritakan pasal macam mana diorang mencari air, sebab di bumi tu kan sudah ketandusan air. So this is actually the things that mungkin akan berlaku kalau sekiranya kita tidak kita tidak preserve our environment. So diorang terpaksa pergi ke bulan untuk mencari air, semata-mata untuk diorang bawa ke bumi lah. So that is actually one of the possible things to happen if we didn't really preserve our environment. Okay, now we move to the social progress in the sustainable development. Okay, so in which participation and inclusion of everyone is a must. Okay, so tadi kita sudah tengok in terms of economic. Okay, so everything must be done in order for us to make sure that our profits are able to be managed fairly. We have a trade practice. We have we are able to reduce the cost. We are able to reduce the resources. We are able to gain more profits so that it can increase the GDP and so on. Then we already see in terms of the environmental punya areas. Okay, so in which environmental we have to preserve and conserve lah. Okay, so whatever we need, whatever waste that we have to manage it effectively. And then now we will look in terms of the social. Okay, social in terms of the human itself lah. Okay, so what we can do in order for us to have a better life as a human. Okay, so this is actually the first thing that we have to do in terms of the participation and inclusion of everyone. Okay, so tidak boleh ada discrimination lah. Okay, so basically some of the organisation, kalau dalam Malaysia sendiri pun, kalau contohnya macam organisation ataupun certain factory ataupun certain business ataupun corporation, diorang ambil foreign punya workers. So bila diorang ambil foreign punya workers, sometimes these foreign workers ni diorang tidak dibayar gaji pun. So that is actually not a good indicator, because at the end of the day, even though they are a foreign workers, they still searching for money kan, for their family and so on. So we need to make sure that we didn't discriminate lah. So that is actually one of the elements in the sustainable development. We need to make sure that participation and inclusion of everyone. Okay, and then the second one is eradication of poverty. So basically poverty is really serious issue, because bila kita poverty, then banyak sebenarnya dia punya drawbacks. Bukan saja bukan saja in terms of the economic, whereby kalau people in the poverty ni dia tidak boleh kita kena bantu dorang banyak lah. So that is actually one of the we need to help them a lot in terms of money. For example, okay, in terms of the tax pun dorang tidak dapat contribute towards the tax of that need to be collected by the government and so on. And then in terms of the criminal issue juga, bila sudah poverty ni kan, a lot of issue related to contohnya macam pencurian, pembunuhan and so on, dadah semua tu. So that is actually the serious issue when it comes to the poverty. So that is why we really need to make sure that we eradicate this poverty. And then in terms of the food security, okay, so kita punya ability to sustain kita punya food ataupun supply chain ni. So contohnya macam if we didn't really consider the food security, then kita mungkin akan boleh jadi macam di Somalia lah. Di Somalia kan diorang makan pun susah, and then sampai malnutrition diorang punya nampak tulang-tulang diorang semua kan sebab malnutrition tu sudah memang berleluasa di sana because they didn't have enough food. Okay, so food security is a very important things that we need to make sure to be secured in our in not only our country lah, but also the other country in the world. Okay, and then next one is equitable distribution of resources. Okay, so in terms of the, for example, like the government, yang ini kita boleh relate together with the taxation ataupun tax collection lah. Okay, so contohnya kita ambil tax daripada orang-orang yang berkemampuan, and then government dia akan use that particular tax untuk kita distribute back to the people who are in need. So contohnya macam ada orang yang tidak berkemampuan, orang yang tiada rumah, so kita gunakan duit daripada tax ni untuk kita buat rumah untuk dorang, untuk kita bagi grant kepada dorang untuk dorang start business and so on. So that is actually equitable distribution of resources. We make sure that everyone are able to have the good distribution when it comes to resources lah. Okay, and then last but not least is protection from exploitative practices. Okay, so this one is related to macam contohnya pemerdagangan manusia lah. Okay, so in which kita jual orang di sana sini kan. So that is actually the things that we have to combat and mitigate lah. Okay, so that is all of the things that you have to understand when it comes to be the ability to achieve the social progress in sustainable development. Okay, next is among important social concern, health, education, equality, peace, and also food security, in which all of this element is actually a must. Okay, so kita kena ada a good health punya system. Okay, and then we also need to have a basic right towards the education, towards the accessibility, towards our education system. And then in terms of the equality, gender equality, kalau men dengan women tu, dorang kena dibagi equal chances lah, especially when it comes to work. Okay, and then in terms of the peace, okay, the peacefulness of our country, it is also something that is related to the society, and then also food security. Okay, so this is actually the things that we can do in order for us to achieve the sustainability, this one. Okay, so you can see economics is all about the growth of the business. Okay, it's all about the profit. It's all about how we want to save the cost. And then it's all about the research and development. So, and then society is related to the standard of living, education, jobs, and equal opportunity. If we want to have a balance between society and also economics, then we need to do this one. Okay, we need to have a business ethics when we want to run our business. Okay, we need to have a fair trade, and then we need to make sure that our workers have the proper benefits. Okay, so dorang ada allowances, dorang ada OT ataupun overtime payment and so on. Okay, then next, kalau kita tengok environment, it is a natural resources use, and then pollution prevention and biodiversity. So if we want to balance between the society and also environment, these are actually the things that we need to do. Okay, so conservation policies. Okay, so conservation policies is not just what we call that is the responsibility of the government, but in terms of the responsibility of the organization itself pun kena ada juga. Okay, and then environmental justice and also global stewardship. Global stewardship ni dia lebih kepada kita punya own style lah. Kita punya kita punya style, lifestyle punya hidup, sama ada kita makan fast food banyak ke, kita tidak jogging ke. So that is actually the things that we need to avoid lah, because in order for us to make sure we need to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Okay, and then this one, economics and also environment. If we want to balance between these two, then we need to have this one lah. Okay, energy efficiency. Contohnya kalau macam kalau kita tidak guna lampu and so on, kita kena matikan lah. Okay, renewable fuels, subsidies, incentive, green technology. Okay, so all of these things have to be implemented. Okay, so in order for us to have a balance between all these three elements, 1, 2, 3, we need to do all of these things. This one, and this one. Okay, so last part of our chapter for today is actually the basic concept of sustainability and also ecological footprint. Okay, so ecological footprints refers to the impact of human activities on the globe and the amount of resources necessary to produce the goods and services necessary to support a particular lifestyle in terms of the area of biologically productive land and water. Okay, so when it comes to ecological footprint is actually whatever impacts that can be seen due to our activities as a human lah. Macam tadi saya cakapkan, kalau kita keluar rumah tu pun sebenarnya sudah boleh give impact towards the environment. On how? So contohnya macam if we are using car, okay, so contohkan kita keluar daripada rumah, kita mau beli kita mau pergi Bataras ke, kita mau pergi Giant ke untuk beli barang. So kita pun menggunakan kita punya own car. Okay, so kita punya car tu dia release carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. So this is actually one of the impact towards the environment lah. So setiap footstep kita tu sebenarnya dia give impact towards the environment. So that is why if you still remember, because you are lama sudah tidak ITM, if contohnya menara ilmu, and then Ujana Sarjana, and also menara pentadbiran tu, contohnya lah if you daripada Ujana Sarjana ke menara pentadbiran. Okay, so nowadays kalau kita mau reduce the ecological footprint ni, better kita jalan kaki daripada kita menggunakan kereta. So some people yang jalan kaki tu baguslah, tapi ada juga some people ni dia guna kereta kan untuk pergi kepada certain places. So it is actually the things that we need to reduce so that kita boleh reduce the carbon dioxide as well. Okay, and then it also measures how much resources are needed to produce what we need and what we consume and dispose of. Okay, so sekat mana kita punya resources yang kita guna. Okay, so ecological footprint accounting measures the demand on and supply of nature. Everything we do in our daily life has consequences. Some impact our immediate future and some have long-lasting effect on our environment and also nature. Everyone has a footprint on ecology by the way they live. Every one of us has an ecological footprint. Okay, so setiap daripada kita ni for sure memang ada ecological footprint. Okay, so kalau kita dalam rumah pun, contohnya macam kita dalam rumah kan kita menggunakan ice box. Okay, so refrigerator. Bila kita buka refrigerator tu kan dia akan release the CFC ataupun CFC itulah. So itu pun benda tu boleh give impact towards the environment. So apa-apa yang kita buat sekarang ni memang give impact towards our environment. So that is why it depends on us how we want to make sure that we can reduce our ecological footprint so that it can reduce the impact that we can give towards the environment. So contohnya kalau macam itulah in terms of our consumption, our lifestyle. Okay, so in terms of our awareness, kalau kita guna energy, make sure kita kalau kita tidak guna sudah lampu ke, tidak guna kipas ke, tidak guna aircon ke, we have to switch off. And then make sure kita kita kalau boleh, contohnya kalau kamu kan yang suka beli telefon ni, kalau selagi telefon tu boleh diguna, jangan beli baru. So that kita boleh reduce the waste. Okay, so that is actually the things that we have to consider so that we can help in terms of the preservation of the environment. Okay, so human footprint on the planet can be calculated by measuring how much natural resources are used that can be divided into 6 categories. Okay, so the first one is carbon, and then cropland, grazing land, forest, fishing grounds, and built up land. Okay, so kita akan look in terms of these 6 elements one by one. Okay, so carbon. Okay, so in terms of the carbon emission release. Okay, so for example, like the car. Okay, so kita punya car tu kan, berapa banyak dia release. Okay, so that is why kalau developed country, so contohnya macam UK and then US, they are really investing in terms of the public transport, so that a lot of people can use the public transport. But however, in our country, public transport kita tidak berapa tidak berapa meluas lah, especially in Kota Kinabalu pun sendiri kita boleh nampak public transport hanya limited to the bus-bus saja. So that is actually patut lagi diperbanyakkan public transport, so that people rather than dorang gunakan dorang punya own car which can release a lot of carbon dioxide, then people can use the public transport lah. So that is actually the things that maybe the government can improve later on lah. Okay, so improve in terms of more what we call that, more public transport for our country. Okay, and then in terms of the cropland, okay, cropland is related to the places where we used to grow the plants for food, fiber, animal feed, and also commodities including oil, soy, and rubber. Okay, so this one is actually the places ataupun the area in which we try to buat tanaman lah. So tanam tanaman, sayur-sayuran. Okay, so apa-apa yang related to cropland, that is also consume some area ataupun some spaces juga. Okay, and then grazing land. Grazing land is actually the tanah ragut. Okay, in which this is actually applicable for those who are having a penternakan lah. So kita buat satu area untuk kita ternak ayam, untuk kita ternak kambing, untuk kita ternak lembu and so on. Okay, so this is actually one of the things that is consuming the spaces as well. Okay, and then in terms of the forest, okay, so this one is actually related to macam biasalah pembalakan, in which the trees are being cut down for the certain purpose lah. For example, like lumber, pulp, fuel, and so on. So contohnya pembalakan, especially pembalakan yang kayu-kayu yang high quality, people usually cut down for their benefit untuk buat perabot, untuk dorang buat piano and so on kan. So this is actually having a high demand. So that is actually the impact kalau pembalakan tu tidak dikontrol lah. So you can see what are happening nowadays, the banjir and so on, because we are losing our kawasan tadahan hujan. Okay, and then fishing grounds, the estimated primary production required to support the fish. Okay, this one is tempat ikan lah. Kalau kita ada kolam penternakan ikan and so on. Okay, and then build up land, the amount of land used for human civilization, structures, and also development. Okay, so this one is actually related to kalau kita buat pembangunan. Okay, sekarang kan kita sudah ada menara yang kedua tertinggi di dunia. So benda-benda tu pun akan impact the environment juga, especially kalau macam ada Genting Highlands semua tu kan, dia akan menggunakan kawasan atau spaces yang sangat luas. So kalau kita buat perumahan, kita kena tebang pokok, kita kena ratakan tanah and so on. So this is actually the things that will give impact towards the environment, because kita sudah kacau the ecosystem, because this hutan-hutan ataupun this area kan adalah tempat untuk the wildlife untuk dorang hidup. So basically bila kita sudah buat pembangunan di situ, so the wildlife tu dorang sudah hilang dorang punya habitat lah. So that is actually the things that being affected when we have a more built up land ni. Okay, so to achieve sustainable lifestyle, okay, so we need to reduce our consumption of resources and reducing pollution. Okay, so basically it depends on us lah. Okay, so dia berbalik kepada kita punya role as a human, as an individual. We need to make sure we can do whatever we need to do in order for us to preserve the environment and our ecosystem. Okay, so contohnya macam tadilah saya cakap tu kan, if you are able to use your own telephone, do not buy the new one. Okay, so kalau kamu mau buy the new one pun, cuba make sure that you manage your waste too effectively lah. Go to the Dewan Bandaraya and then seek for their help to help you to manage your e-waste too. And then in terms of the resources tu, kalau boleh kita try jangan gunakan, contohnya macam jangan guna plastik and so on. Okay, and then use renewable resources. Resources can be environmental, economical or social. Okay, and then thus to achieve sustainability, both sustainable technology and sustainable choices are needed. Okay, as a conclusion, all three pillars need to be considered and balanced to achieve sustainable development because all of them are interconnected with each other. Okay, the neglect of any one pillar means there is no sustainable development. Most focus on only one pillar at a time. Okay, so basically, this is the things that we have to understand lah. We have to make sure that we balance all the three P's study: people, profit, and planet. Because if we disregard one of each elements, too, definitely it doesn't lead to the achievement of our sustainable development goals. Okay, so this one is actually the last figure for this, kira the sum up lah for this particular chapter, in which we have this one, social, environmental, and also economic. All of these three must be balanced together. But the most important things, we need to have a good governance. Bila kita sudah ada good governance, good administrative, good leadership yang boleh lead kita as a country ni, so definitely it can support the sustainable development. Okay, so once again, remember, pillars means support. Okay, so support di sini means these three elements must be balanced lah between each other in order for us to support the sustainable development. Okay, so I think that's all for today. Every champion was once a contender that refused to give up. Okay, so any question before we end this chapter? Any question? Everyone, do you have any question?
Miss.
No, okay. Okay, so clear. Okay, so very good. Okay, so just want to inform everyone again. Okay, for you who haven't who joined late for our class study. Okay, so for this week we need to cover 2 chapters. Okay, so topic 5 and also chapter 6. In which tadi siapa tu Hanafi ke tadi? Tolong checkkan. Can you open the link?
Yeah, yes I can.
Boleh play kan?
Boleh.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so in which we need to cover because we already left behind our chapters. Okay, so for this